Hey anyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Bite Size Reactions, where today we're watching Chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. Last week we saw the flashbacks end as Boba found Fennec Shand, helped fix her, and, caught up to the end of The Mandalorian, where we saw him first take over Jabba the Hutt's throne. It also confirmed that the Pikes will be our main enemy for the time being, and seemed to hint that Din Djarin from The Mandalorian will be making a return appearance. This show has not failed to surprise me every single episode. I don't expect it to stop now. So, let's just see what happens. Okay. Looks like we're seeing a butchery for the first time in Star Wars. Hi, Din. Oh, man, it's been a while. You still have the Darksaber. Man, I did not expect to see you this early, that's for sure.
Or I can bring you in cold.
There's the line. You bit him? He still has the Darksaber, and he's just using it. Like, he doesn't even care. Oh, that must infuriate him. You cut yourself! You shouldn't be using that thing yet. The return of the Mandalorian. Wow, just straight up with that, huh? What is this? It's a ring? What is this, Halo? Does Star Wars have a ring now? What? Did it have a ring before? I don't think so. Is this... I'm failing. I think this is the first time Star Wars has a ring. Okay, why do you want that information, though? Obviously, he's not interested. You're just a stepping stone to whatever he actually wants to do, which is what? Signal signs you can only see in infrared. Let me guess, pointing to another, Mandalorian covenant, whatever the covert on this ring. Yeah, there it is. Be careful, careful. Dude. That's a hell of a view. Is that the armorer? She's here too. Wasn't expecting that. Hey, it's you. Favreau's Vizsla spelled wrong.
Saving me on Navarro.
You really haven't seen him since Navarro. You just brandishing the Darksaber without any...
Bring it to me.
You, my friend, should be familiar with this weapon, because if your name is Vizsla, one of your family members did carry this thing.
He was both Mandalorian and Jedi.
Cool. We're going over this again from Rebels.
Then you have completed your quest. This is the way.
Can you really rejoin them after taking off your helmet? Or are you really just rejoining them? And how did Kryze let you go? She's hunting for the Darksaber for ages, and she's just like, you can do whatever you want.
Mandalorian steel is meant for armor, not weapons.
That's a first. I think this is a new twist on their lore, that you can't use it for weaponry.
The Darksaber is a more noble weapon for you to wield.
No. I'm sorry. Din, I like you, but I still think that weapon belongs to Sabine. And say bye to the spear, okay.
Bo-Katan Kryze.
But it was gifted to her and not won by
Hey!
Kryze.
There is a reference to Sabine.
Purge.
There you go. Okay. Ooh, flashback. That's cool. TIE bombers.
Those born of Mandalore strayed away from the path.
That's what happened to
Eventually,
Mandalore.
Imperial interlopers
They just
destroyed
bombed
all
it to
we
heck.
knew and loved in the night of 1,000 tears.
K2SOs. That's a Terminator scene right there. That is so Terminator. What the hell?
Is the way?
My thoughts are everywhere.
For us,
They're just throwing so much.
Shall I forge for the foundling Grogu?
Yes, give him some kind of armor. Ooh, actual forging this time. What is it? Oh, I want to see. Don't hide it. He's being trained by the armorer. I guess they're not giving this Darksaber back to Sabine then. Fork. Oh, he actually fell off. I was surprised, confused for a second. It feels heavy because you're not connected to it. The same kind of thing that happened when Kanan trained Sabine.
Distance without insight will lead to the same outcome.
Correct. Don't just keep smashing your head against the wall. Figure out what you're doing wrong.
I am focused.
This is some magic. You can't lie about this.
Belongs in someone else's hands.
And of course you want it back. Your ancient ancestor made it. Your latest ancestor died using it. No jetpacks? Guys. Then you literally just fell off the platform. Okay. Oh, it's one of those tiny shields. First time in live action. Last time seen in Clone Wars. Look at it. Look how they're wielding it. It's so heavy. There's no connection to the blade at all. Oh no, here's the question. Din has removed his helmet
Have you
now.
ever removed your helmet?
Okay, what's gonna happen now? Are they gonna forsake you? What is it?
I have.
Then you are a Mandalorian no more.
Okay, they're just gonna forsake you. Unfortunate, Din. But you had to know this would happen. You need to get on this. It's going to Tatooine. You have work to do. Let me guess. This is going to be one of those things where it's like the character removes hundreds of weapons. That jacket looks a lot like one of those snowtrooper jackets from Solo. Also, how convenient that he just gets on a commercial space liner to Tatooine. Hi, Rodian child. What's in there? I suppose we won't know until the end of the show, or probably back until we get to the Mandalorian. No! BD... Oh, I thought that was BD-1. Oh! I thought that was our BD. But it's just another BD. Oh my gosh, you give me so much panic. But it's nice to see BD, any type of droid, make the jump from video games over here. Oh, the leaks about an old Naboo fighter were right, but this thing is...
Where's the Razor Crest? This is a pile of junk.
It really is. Where is its panels? Okay, while I will not dismiss that this is a really nice ship, the Razor Crest worked because it was also a living quarters. It was large enough to have some kind of living quarters, but this is a fighter. How are you supposed to sleep in that?
And not only that, get me what I asked for in exchange. I let him pick through my dumpster.
Can I meet them?
Well, that seems like a really good, deal. Just, hey, I need some stuff, go get them, and they work. Did you say you dated one? Did you say it's furry under there? The show does some weird stuff. We're just cleaning off a starfighter, rebuilding an N1. Can we keep him? I mean, a nice BD droid he's a fun companion, and you don't have Grogu anymore. You just have that thing squawk like a chicken. Oh, it is a good looking ship though. It is missing a few panels, but it is a good looking ship. Din is not a guy who likes color. Right? Paint jobs, all that. He just doesn't like it for some reason. Guess we gotta get used to this thing. Got a name for it? Needs one. Judging by the fondness of the way we're walking around and how much time we spent here, this is it. This is our new Razor Crest stand-in. We're exchanging living space for speed. Now, judging by this show, it either works and it's like a wow moment, or it's gonna fall apart. Now this looks familiar. Is this the terrain from the pod race?
Now this is pod racing.
I absolutely love how this show, depicts the flight. I mean, this is awesome. Never is it's been so realistic or cool. Are you gonna fly next to the same kid? It's a really cool balance of like realistic and actual flight. I don't know what I'm talking about. All I'm doing is mumbling this episode. But to see this amount of detail and this amount of movement in Star Wars, in these kind of ships, is amazing, because you wouldn't really be able to see that in previous content. Or you wouldn't be able to see it in, oh no, Clone Wars. Oh no, yes, there's the X-Wings. Here we go again.
I think we can let him off with a warning.
The other guy's the same person, right?
I'll have it.
Mighty familiar.
It is him. Fun fact, he will be playing Uncle Iroh in Netflix's Avatar, so that seems fun.
In an incident, you mind answering a few questions?
No. We can just leave. Thanks, bye. That was fun. Hi, Fennec. Time to get back to, the regular course of this show, as fun as this episode has been.
I gotta pay a visit to a little friend.
Yes! We're gonna see Grogu this episode too, aren't we? No? Bryce Dallas Howard. That explains why the flying scenes were what they were. And that was Chapter 5, The Return of the Mandalorian. Honestly, my thoughts about this episode are very mixed, right? And honestly, I don't think my commentary was very good, because my head was just kind of all over the place. On one hand, I liked it. It's a really good episode. New locations, but familiar characters, revealing lore that, viewers of the anime who haven't seen the animated show wouldn't have known. But my biggest problem with it is that this is called the Book of Boba Fett. The show is the Book of Boba Fett. But that was a Mandalorian episode that had nothing to do with this TV show. And that's kind of unfortunate. That's also why this show, I feel like the show has 7 episodes instead of like 6, a nice round number. Personally, I'm not against these type of, take a break episodes. They're fine, they're fun. But in the scope of the show, this did nothing for the Book of Boba Fett. It's just like, hey, let's take a break from the Book of Boba Fett, give you an episode of The Mandalorian, and we'll come back to the Book of Boba Fett later. And I don't know how I feel about it. That's the negatives. Push that to the side. Let's talk about the positives. It was fun. Like, I still enjoy Boba Fett, this show, and I was a fan of The Mandalorian. And still am. It's just such a good show, and kickstarted a whole new era of this televised Star Wars. We got to see Din back. He's fighting with the Darksaber, and he's not very good at it. I mean, he's trying, but how do you cut your own leg with your sword? It shows that the Force, and if you're not anyway linked with the Force, using a lightsaber is much harder than if you have any kind of connection with the Force, because the Force helps you. This blade is powered by the Force. The crystal inside is powered by the Force. So people who aren't in any way sensitive to it can't really connect with the blade as much, right? It took Sabine Wren, the last Mandalorian trained to use this thing, a lot of training from a Jedi to finally get in tune with the weapon, right? Like she said, it felt much heavier until she got in tune with it, and then she was able to use it much easier. And we can kind of see that shown in this episode, right? Especially when like Paz Vizsla picks it up, or sometimes when Din is using it. That thing looks like a heavy blade, right? It's taking like a severe amount of effort to lift it up off the ground. It's dragging. But you wouldn't normally see that. Lightsabers seem like more light, smoother weapons. But the armor also gave us the backstory when like Tar Vizsla, the ancient Mandalorian Jedi that made the blade in the first place. And that's a lot of cool lore that you wouldn't have known had you not seen Star Wars Rebels. And a lot of the people watching the show haven't seen Star Wars Rebels because there's a stigma against the animated shows. A lot of people were wondering how his taking off the helmet would affect his, Mandalorian status with his clan, and clearly he's out, right? He was honest about it, and they're like, get out. Unfortunate. But at least before he was kicked out, he did get some kind of present for Grogu. What it is, we haven't seen yet. And speaking of Grogu, Din says, "Oh yeah, no, I'll work with you, Boba Fett. I just gotta go see Grogu first." So, are they gonna put Grogu in this show as well? Because I think that would be funny. Maybe pushing it a little, but funny. And hey, I'm not gonna complain too much because he's cute and I want to see him. And I know putting him in the show is a marketing tactic, but hey, again, that's overly negative. I don't actually think this badly of the show. So while the first half was lore filled on that fantastic Halo ring, we now have a ring in Star Wars. It's a ring station. I don't know if there's a better name for it, but add that to the list of sci-fi stuff in Star Wars. The second half of the episode took place back in Mos Eisley, and building Din's new ship. The Razor Crest was destroyed in a crazy moment. I remember that was such a shock because they had put the ship through so much punishment only to rebuild it. And I thought, okay, if they rebuilt it, that means he's going to stick with it. And then they just blew it up. So I'm like, well, that was a surprise. And it also came as a surprise to all those people who, paid for highly expensive models and such of a ship that now no longer exists. Now we got this new N1 starfighter that is modded for speed. On one hand, cool. You've got the fastest little starfighter in the galaxy. On the other, you had the Razor Crest was also very comfortable for living quarters, right? You could live there, you could store your weapons there. This thing barely has enough space for you. What am I supposed to say? If the ship works for him, the ship works for him. Honestly, I don't have anything else to say about the episode. I think I got my thoughts out, as jumbled as they may have been. I'm looking forward to next week when we can actually get back into the Book of Boba Fett. Over here is the next reaction whenever that comes out. Over here is a playlist of my videos, and on my face is the subscribe button. Like, comment, subscribe, criticize even. I don't mind. See ya.